of take our time with this one since we're going to work on quads, hips, lower back, legs, glutes. We're going to hit all those spots. I usually start a client in the half Buddha sequence when they come in with lower back and hip pain. Sometimes coming into the full floating Buddha is a little much. So let's go ahead and go over that like as if you were coming in for some sort of hip replacement as well. This is really good rehab for that. So swing nice and low, go ahead and come into our sumo squat. We always start out in our seated pose. This is our seated position it's our go-to, 10 and 2. Very good. We're going to stay hugging with our arms around the swing. Grab the leg loop, the right leg loop with both hands, and let's practice our core activation. So we pull up, big stretch, and then lower down. And then we pull up, and lower down, one more. We're going to pull up and hold, let the knee come out to the side, and then the ankle is going to make its way. Yeah, give it a little helping hand if it needs. Now this is called the half Buddha when we have one leg extended, and we're just going to let the foot explore in the space. Okay? So in this pose, we're just going to sway a little bit from side to side. So I call this wagging the tail. Whenever we do that, go ahead and stay where you are. I'm going to fix your mat because it's not centered. So there we go. And then the foot half, and it stays in a half sumo. 45 degrees with the foot. There you go. Perfect. I'm going to slide it this way. See a little bit more forward. Okay, great. Awesome. So we're hanging out here in our half Buddha. So what we're going to do is focus on the hip rotation. So when the foot comes in, when the heel comes in, the toes are going to roll out. Okay, when the foot comes out, the toes are going to roll in. Yes. So we're going to let that happen from the hip joint. Yeah. Toes roll out, and then toes roll in. Very good. So you're moving exactly from the joint, but most people will like kink at their waist when their hips are tight and not be able to get that rotation. So this will start to lubricate the hip joint. We've done a lot of work with the shoulders, and now we're really focusing on the hips. Cool. Really simple movement, but does so much, does wonders for healing the hip. Now from here, we're going to keep the heel in, toes out, and then pull the leg loop towards us for our pigeon. So go ahead and hug the leg loop towards you. Yeah. So notice your hips are like a little bit more open than the shoulders, right? Usually somebody will come in for hips or shoulders. You'll see some people get lucky and have both, but usually it's one or the other. Right, and so I like to rock a little bit here. Sometimes that helps pull up a little bit more with your arms. So pull so that, so that your shoulders can stay active and engaged. Beautiful. And then we're going to keep holding on with our right and turn it over. So our knee turns in, then we're going to come into the quad stretch. Keep holding on, and heel toe your foot to wide center on the mat. Yeah, so wide center, all the way to the edge. That's it. Keep holding on with the back hand. This is your anchor. So always hold on to the leg loops. In fact, let's hold on to the front leg loop to keep it even though what we're doing is really stretching the quad in the back, and as long as that foot is flexed, we're in good shape here. And then if it feels good, you can try and straighten the front leg. That might be too much, right? So squeeze the knees towards center line like we did in the other poses too, so it's pulling in. Beautiful. Very nice. So after a few breaths, if we need to, we can actually lift and then lower. Keep holding on. Lift and then lower. So we can practice like coming into more of a lunge and then lower back down. So sometimes lifting allows us to take pressure off the back leg. Hooking will allow us to go further into the stretch. So do the arm variation, kind of like dancing Shiva, right? It's like dancing Shiva, but the foot is being assisted to come towards us. Turn it back over, nice and slow. Woo. Big stretch. Yeah. And then we're going to straighten both legs. Come into a supported back bend. Get the swing nice and low on your back. So wiggle it down to below the bra strap. There you go. Perfect. And sometimes it's nice to just play with twisting from side to side here too. So we're just kind of playing in the space. Give ourselves a little break. Cool. Let's go ahead and stay on the side. So if the person is new, then we would change sides. Do the other leg and then come back. Let's keep building the sequence here. So what we do from here is we work on our core. So either you just pick the knee up using your forearm press, forearms pressing strongly, or we can use our choo-choo if you like holding on to the wrist wrap. The wrist wrap is a little challenging, but it might be easy in this position to bunch it up. There you go, and grab. So we work on our core. Okay, it all looks familiar, right? This is our review. And then we're going to work on pulling the toes up towards the sky, and then come into our plank toe touches. Cool. So either just lift the knee, or if they're feeling strong, come into plank toe touches. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to hook. Ooh la la, right? This is a big stretch. So what we're doing is opening up that whole IT band, quad, hamstring combo for the outer line. If we pull the foot down, then we get deeper into a pigeon pose. If we keep the legs straight, it's more into the IT band. Beautiful. And then to come into the twist, we're going to bring the foot between the swing and the leg loop, and then push the hips up and open it. Yeah, see if you can reach for your toes. If not, hold on to the calf. It's a little intense for the rib cage. Then what we're going to do is come into hammock to end, right? So hammock pose is our relaxation at the end there. Let's take a break in hammock. Let's hang out for a moment. Let's not rush it. Right, so get the hang too. So either underneath the neck or behind the back, whatever one you like. So that's a big sequence, but it's really nice to add on to what we learned before and just focus on the hip therapeutics there. Okay. And then come on back. Let's transition through floating Buddha. Both leg loops at the ankles. And then release. Right foot down. So let's hang out in our half sumo. And then the leg extended. So yeah, there we go. Forearm press. And then we're just going to wag. It's nice and slow for the hip opening. Let's see if we can slow it down and get the rotation. So when the heel comes in, the toes turn out. This is called external rotation. And then when the heel comes out, the toes come in. That's internal rotation. Good. Just this movement will help release the hips and lower back. Kind of like we did in the beginning of class when we did our belly dancing moves. And that really just helps to get the pelvis unlocked, which is very common. A lot of people hold a lot of tension in their hips. Good. Okay, great. And then we're going to bend the knee in for our pigeon, our version of pigeon. If you ever need a break, you can just lean back, right, and get the swing to come down lower. Engage the arms. All right, so pigeon pose. Let's see if we can undulate that knee up and down a couple times. The more we push the knee down, can you pull the foot in towards the body a little bit more? Does it come in? There you go. Help it in. Little tightness in there, right? Oh, okay. Keep holding on with the left. Really important that we stabilize the knee. Turn it over. And then either hold on to the swing or the leg loop. See which one you like better. But we're going to hold on. Don't let go of the leg loop the whole time, okay? So we're going to walk the foot to wide center, so all the way to the edge. Okay. Now see if you like pulling up on the swing, if that's helpful. Some people like this one, or some people like the leg loop. Just see which one you like better. Yeah, this one takes pressure off the underarms a little bit more. So whichever one you like. Just see if you can hang out here and spread out. Remember to pull the knees in towards the center line. Your knee likes to flare out. Yeah, there you go. That squares the hips too. There you go. And then try straightening the front leg. Whew. Big stretch. Good. And then when we want to come out, you can stay there for longer, but let's go ahead and just breeze through these. Go ahead and extend it. Good. And then come into a supported back bend and just kind of explore in the space. Both legs straight. Straighten both legs. Good. Take Take some time to reset. Now we could also change sides and go back to the first side. Or we're going to go right into our core exercises here, either forearm press or holding onto the choo-choo. It really is a personal preference. I usually do the choo-choo. It's up to you. Let's just start with some knee lifts. So sometimes this is enough, right? Just even lifting the leg can be really challenging. We're working psoas. We're starting to strengthen the belly, helps with digestion, all of those things. Also, whenever we strengthen the core, we're releasing the lower back. This is good news. Is your back usually okay? Your lower back?
Yeah. I've had lower back surgery too, but it's certainly better than my neck.
Cool. And then let's try reaching the toes up towards the sky and then come into our plank toe touches. So a little bit more core activation here. Pressing strongly down through the left leg to lift up. This is when I find the choo-choo really handy to stabilize, right? So plank, toe touch, and then last one we hook. Right now, yeah, this is our relaxation pose all of a sudden, right? So drop the hips, really let that connective tissue for the IT band, both for the quad and the hamstring open. Really deep stretch. This is great for our friends who are runners and bikers and all that. If we wanted to go deeper into the connective tissue, we pull it down for a pigeon, or we just keep it straight. Maybe try one or the other and see if your client gets a better stretch in one position. So if you need, hun, you can use your one arm for chillaxin, or even both arms if you want to use chillaxin. It's just nice to lean back into it if your upper back doesn't mind the pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Last pose is our twist. So we're gonna basically shift our hips, right? So pull up, get between the space between the swing and the leg loop, and then twist. Nope, between the swing and the leg loop, right here. Yeah, there you go. Get a little tangled. So that allows us to go a little further, and then reach for the calf or the foot, whatever you can grab. Yeah, there you go. See if you can press your hips up so you're in one plane. It's a little bit challenging. Flying twist, wringing out the spine, wringing out the digestion, and then let's land it in our hammock pose. Okay, finally, right? Relax a little after so intense. Switch it up. If you worked before on the upper back, work on the neck. If you worked on the neck, switch up to the upper back. See if you can get comfortable. Sometimes you can spread the swing out slightly. That makes a big difference. Just see what feels good. If it's twisted, it's going to be a little bit of an issue to spread it out, but just get comfortable and hang. So we open up the hips, we open up the quads, we get into the glutes, the IT band, the hamstrings, the core. That whole half Buddha sequence is amazing for the lower body. You can practice on dropping the hips and then pressing the hips up, and notice that you can activate the glutes and the back body just by pressing up and then dropping down. You can switch it up to see what feels good as an alternative and as a deeper stretch. Nice. Beautiful. Release the leg loop from behind the head. We landed back in our floating Buddha. And we can do that whole sequence with the leg loop spread out as well. So if it's uncomfortable for somebody, either for the knees or for the ankles, calves, then we can do everything spread out. Okay, great. So we went over our Archer and Happy Buddha and Peaceful Warrior and all of those inversions yesterday. So, the only other thing I wanted to show you is you can actually do the hook from here. So if you are in floating Buddha and you don't want to take one leg loop off, you can just try hooking and you can get the same deep stretch from this position. So hook can happen a couple different times. It can happen from our seated pigeon, it can happen from the half Buddha, and it can happen from floating. So come on back through sumo squat. Again, a nice easy way to open up the lower back is just to hang out in the belly dancing moves where we're letting the hips shift from side to side with our body weight dropping. Just letting gravity do the work. And next time we'll get into more of the leg stretches and strengthening when we do our intermediate advanced. Okay, really good. Very nice. If you have any questions, we'll spend about 5 more minutes just going over some more poses. We'll flip through the pages and take a look-see.